empowered by Alphinii Women Foundation. So today, I have a guest with me. I am so excited because this topic is, I think, what most of us go through, but we really tunakuanga na ka rejection flani, and I feel like our guest today will help us a lot. She will introduce herself, what she does, and everything.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Well, my name is Pastor Lea. I'm the founder of Didasco Life Ministries, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. So today our topic will be how to deal with bitterness. And if we can start, let's describe bitterness first to our viewers. What's bitterness?
Well, bitterness is birthed from something else. You don't just wake up and say, I feel bitter. You don't just wake up and get to that place. It's when you're bitter, it means you already gone through a process, and bitterness starts from anger. And when you are angry, the Bible says, be angry, but do not sin, right?
Yeah.
Or be angry, but do not let the sun set while you're still angry. There is a reason why the Bible says that. So when you get angry or when you are offended and you don't deal with it, you let it sleep overnight as you are thinking, because most people who get angry, you don't let go. You just kind of, it keeps ringing and just coming back, and you're thinking, how could you do that to me? I thought, especially when you are hurt by someone very close to you. And it's important to know that people who are close to you hurt you more.
Yes.
And the feeling of that, because you don't expect such a person to hurt you, it makes you feel really, really bad. So you get angry, and then you carry it over. So what usually happens when the Bible says, be angry but do not sin, is because when you sleep on it, it is not just anger anymore. There is something that adds up to that anger. And then all of a sudden you start now having unforgiveness. I can't forgive. That is just too much for me. How can I forgive this one? As then you continue to carry it. And then some people, they know how to add up to issues. Like, I offended you once. Instead of letting go, you carry it. You hold it. Tomorrow you do it, you do something else. I'm still remembering what you did to me yesterday. So today you add up into that wood. And so instead of healing, you're continuing to make it worse.
Yes.
So you now, what do you call this? You as in, you move now to another level from now that being and having unforgiveness in your heart to a place now of bitterness.
Yes.
You become so bitter. After bitterness, then you get to what? Stress. You start getting stressed.
Yeah.
That when you see this person, you just feel like you can slap them, or you just don't want to see this person because they remind you of what you've been through. After stress, then you hear, I'm depressed.
Yeah, and I feel like on sleeping, when you're not supposed to sleep when you're angry, I think that is something I also have done. I have slept when I am angry at someone or a situation, and by the time you wake up in the morning, unajua ukilala, unalala, unasahau, but when you wake up in the morning, that is the first thing you will think about.
Yeah.
I am so angry at this person, I am so angry at this situation, and it builds some kind of hate in your heart, and hatred is so bad.
Yeah.
If you hate someone. And when you said it builds up from
builds
anger
up
to bitterness
Yes.
to stress to depression, and after depression, this is when you get someone killed herself,
Definitely.
killed himself.
Yes.
But then let's talk about being bitter, because the way you said, the people who make you angry or who disappoint you are the people who are close to you.
Yes.
I'll take you back to us young people. Sometimes maybe it is your boyfriend, you've broken up. So you get angry, you get bitter, and this bitterness has caused even people killing each other, very many young couples killing each other. How would you tell a 22-year-old girl who is so bitter,
Okay.
so bitter at a person? Maybe a girl was raped, maybe a girl went through something bad and it's so bitter in the heart?
Okay. Well, I will start with saying that you can never give what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have love, you can never give love.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're bitter, you can only give bitterness.
Yes.
And when you're talking about this young girl who is bitter because of maybe growing up, being left by a boyfriend, there is a problem that many people have. And this is what I'll call lack of understanding. When we go back to the Bible says, Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength. And then the next statement, he said, love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So I want us to understand here that it is only God who you are supposed to love with all your mind, with all your heart, and with all your strength. When it comes to your neighbor, now here neighbor means a husband, a friend, a brother. You're supposed to love them as you love yourself. What does that mean? That we give so much to people what we are supposed to be giving God. I said, you cannot give what you don't have.
Yes.
So many people, since they don't know how to love God, they don't know how to love God. So that means they don't give God what belongs to him. So if you don't give God what belongs to him, definitely you will give it to someone else. So you go ahead and give all the love that you are supposed to direct to God, you direct it to your boyfriend. So when they hurt you, it's like now God hurting you because of course he will leave you destroyed. Like you're broken, you're beaten, you're battered, you don't want anything. But the problem was you, because you don't know how to redirect your love. Loving your neighbor as yourself. How do you love yourself? You treat yourself well. You want people to talk well or good to you. You want to be loved. That's how you should treat your neighbor, right?
Yes.
But you don't love your neighbor with your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength. What usually happens is that we give standards to men and we forget they are men, that they have flaws, that they have weaknesses, that they will break your heart, right? So, but when you give your heart to God, you are sure that God cannot break it.
Yes.
But when you give it to a man,
He will surely
he will surely break it.
Yes.
So when God was saying, love me with all that you have, he knew he will not break your heart. But when you give it to a man, he will break your heart. So if you are not giving the allowance of the weaknesses of men to appear, or to every now and then for a man to do something to you, then you will always live in offenses. Because men are bound to fail you. So when you put men in a very high standard, you're telling that person, I don't expect you to fail, right? Yes. But you're forgetting this is a man, right? And only God who doesn't fail.
Okay.
So when they fail, they break your heart. Yeah. So we shouldn't love people with all our heart, with all our mind, and all our strength.
Okay, that's a very good point. But then, let's say an example is, I have a friend who is bitter, who is angry. How do I help that person to get rid of that anger and that bitterness? Because if she is my friend, I will really want to help her. And changing doesn't happen overnight. What are the things that can help me help her day by day? Her do this, do that, so that she can get rid of that anger, that bitterness.
You see, you need to understand that actually bitter people, they will always look for someone to blame.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And if it's not someone, it's themselves. So you need to first of all find out, why are you this bitter? Okay? Let's just break out that wood. Break it out. Because if it's not broken, it will not heal. Let that person tell you, why are they bitter? what happened and why are you not able to let go? And the accumulation of offenses, if it's a person who keeps everything, you know, like there is something I usually do. There is a way I live my life. When I realized that men are about to fail, I decided I will forgive before you do something to me. Okay? So when you're coming to me, because you're a man, I'm expecting anything. All right? So I've already forgiven you before you do anything. So that even when you do it, I have already forgiven you again. So I don't have that chance, or I don't have that thing to carry things in my heart, because I've already known and understood that you are a man and you're about to fail. You're about to break my heart. So even when you break my heart, I forgive you and I let go. Because let me tell you, my heart is too small. It cannot carry many things. So why are you carrying many things? Because when you have such a small heart and you start putting a lot of pressure in it, then it will start looking for other things to spill out. You understand? Yeah. That's why you find bitter people will always spill bitterness. No matter how loving you will be to them, at the end of the day, bitterness will come out.
And I remember someone told me that forgiving isn't necessarily for the other person.
Yeah.
Forgiving is for you also.
True.
Once you forgive someone, you heal.
Yes.
And you let it go off your chest. And you forget everything that that person did to you. Even though you will not talk to the same person again, but that satisfaction.
But you see, when you say that, I'm thinking, because you see, we really get hurt. We really get hurt. Have we ever sat down and focused and thought about how much do you hurt God? And he never comes back to you to tell you, I'm very bitter with you.
Or tells you, don't talk to
yes. Me. And he goes, do you know there is no one who forgives you as many times as God does?
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
You've never done something to someone like 70 times, 7 times the way you're supposed to forgive a friend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But how many sins do you do per day and you expect God to forgive you? Right? Very many. Why is it so hard for you to extend the same mercy to someone else? Because if you get to a place where you treat other people the way you want to be treated, it means you will be in that place where you're able to forgive and let go. And be able to love that person as if they never did anything to you. Why am I saying that? Sometimes you find there are people who have had issues with their parents, and you're saying, I can never love my mother again. I can never love my father again. Think about yourself. The way you were brought up, how many times did you do something against your father and your mother and they forgave you? And they still took you back as a mother or as a son or as a daughter. So that now you get to this place where you're saying, I can never forgive them. And yet you want to do something and God forgives you. It is a two-way traffic to say. If you want God to forgive you, you have to forgive your brother, your sister, your mother, and that person who have hurt you. It cannot be any other way. So learn to forgive you. And also, in that, there are people who don't know how to forgive themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Even if it's something that you did or something that was done to you, you can always come out of it. You can always get someone to help you come out of it and just feel clean again. There are people who have gone through rape and they just feel dirty. They don't want anything to do either with men or women. So when it is such an issue, you just get someone who is able to assist you. And I'm telling you that you're not the first one.
Yeah.
And you're not the first one who will overcome.
Yeah.
And that means that if other people have gone through that road, you too, you can be able to do it.
Yeah, and I also believe in talking. Talk to someone who is more experienced or someone older than you or someone who's spiritual. I feel like you will get more help, more knowledge, and he or she will show you the way to go, how to deal with some situations, because I feel like sometimes a 20-year-old person will come tell me, this happened, she is bitter. But I really do not have the experience or the enough advice to give to the person. If someone talks to someone like you have experience, you can pray with the person, you really have a lot to offer than me. And sometimes I feel like as young people, yes, it is good to talk to my fellow friends, but some situations need need an understanding, zinahitaji mtu who is on a higher level than you, because you need different type of advice and different type of opinion so that you know how will I go onto this road. And on being bitter, I feel like a decision ni wewe utamake. If you do not want to be bitter, that is from your heart. You have to decide that I do not want to be bitter anymore. I do not want to be angry anymore. The first step is accepting I have done this mistake. I am angry, I am bitter. I want help. If that is the first step that someone will take, that is like a big step. You will be able to get help because you have acknowledged it to yourself that I have a problem. And then when we go back, we are all Christians. I feel like you should advise us, or in my question I was like, how does the Bible deal with bitterness? According to the Bible teachings, apart from love your neighbors, you love yourself, and God saying you should love me with all your heart, what more advice from a biblical way do you have to tell someone who is bitter, someone who is angry at a situation?
Seek God, because God is love. It has to start from a point of love. If you were able to receive love from God, you can be able to let go of bitterness. Because many people, like I said, they don't know how to receive love. And if you, many people don't know how to receive love, because love is God. God has given us love, but do you know how to receive it? So if you don't know how to receive love, what God is giving, you cannot be able to give someone else or even to receive it from someone else. God is love, so you start from where God is. So seek God. Go to God, tell him, God, you know what, I'm bitter, I'm angry, I don't know how to go around this, and then God is able to help you from there. And like you said, they should look for someone who is maybe more experienced, a spiritual person, to be able to take them through the season of bitterness and just overcome and get healing. We also need to understand as young people that we need old folks. We are young, but we need old people. We should be able to go to our fathers. Our fathers, I mean, maybe a father to your father, or even someone older than that, and just express yourself. And just understand that not everybody is out there to beat you up. Some people just want to embrace you, and you will feel loved. And from there, you're able to let go. Many people don't know or don't experience love. And if you've known bitterness throughout your life, if your parents were not as, let's say, loving enough, maybe the mother and the father, they were always maybe fighting in the house, that means that this person grew with no love. They don't see it. You see bitterness. And when maybe a son is coming out of that place, they don't know how to love people. So you'll find that person also, they are bitter, but they don't know they are bitter, because that's how they grew up.
So sometimes someone can be bitter
and you don't know. Yeah, because you have never experienced. So how you can never know what you're missing until you experience it. So some people have never experienced love. Some people have experienced anger and bitterness all their lives. So they don't know how to live otherwise. And even when you get engaged to this person, it's like they will have to go through a training to understand even what love is. Because they grew in an environment where love was impossible. And now you're trying to provide love possible, but they're not able to receive it because they believe that a woman must be battered, a woman must be done this, you know. So
Yeah.
if you've not known how to treat people from when you are young, you cannot be able to treat people well when you are old. What you grow up with, that's how you will do. That's how you will walk in the rest of your life.
I feel like I have learned a lot from. I didn't know that you can be bitter and didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I did my research, obviously, and symptoms of bitterness. The ones I got were negative feelings and recurring the memories in your head. Because someone beat me up, you're like, every time you see it, you just think of that and want to. It's yo uchungu inarudi, inarudi. I feel like, what should someone do to undo those thoughts?
You see, forgiveness. Forgiveness. You see the way the Bible says that God forgives and forgets. He surely does that. And I said, forgiveness is when you forgive, like you do something to me. I forgive you, and I meet you tomorrow. I treat you like you never did anything to me. That is what love is. Treating you as if it's the first time I'm meeting you. Yeah? Meaning I've already forgotten what you did. And of course you don't go gossiping. Like, you know, when you're gossiping or when you're talking about what you went through, it means you're still not healed.
Yes.
Because when you're still talking about it, you're still hurting.
Oh, but they were like saying,
Yeah.
"No, I'm telling because you're
Yes.
not healed."
But you need to get to a place where even when you talk about it, you're laughing.
Yeah.
You remember the time you did this to me?
Yeah.
And you know, it was so easy. You understand?
Yes.
So you can get to that place where it is no longer a reminder of pain, but it was an experience.
Yes.
Yeah?
That you moved to a better step.
Definitely.
Okay. Guys, I have personally learned a lot about bitterness and forgiveness. I think here the main thing is forgiving. You forgive yourself, you forgive the person who hurt you. Because once you do that, you heal first, the other person heals, and you're in good terms with God. And as she said, love, give God all your love, everything with all your heart, all your soul. And if you do that, God can never fail you. God never fails you. And my mom taught me something. God has three answers. It's either no, yes, or wait. And sometimes God says wait, and we feel like, hapana Mungu anikumbuki. But God never forgets you. He's just telling you it's not your time. Relax. And when he says no, because he has seen if you go into that thing or continue being bitter, what it will do to you in front. Yeah. I hope you've learned the way I have learned. So, Mom, where can we get your handles? Where can we reach you?
Facebook is Pastor Leah, the Dasco Fellowship. Instagram, actually, I'm very new. I don't know a lot about it.
Yes.
I think it's still Pastor Leah. What else is there? The list.
If someone wants to talk to you, like person to person or via phone call.
Well, you can send an email to Didasco Fellowship. Didasco is DIDASKO fellowship@gmail.com. I'll be able to respond to you. Or even maybe, I don't know whether I can give my phone number because no, yeah.
But I think if you really want help,
you can just
email.
use that email address.
So, guys, that was all for today. This was Alphinii TV, empowered by Alphinii Women Group. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, comment, share with your friends. We have amazing content here that will help you spiritually, help you in your daily life. And if you want to reach me personally, my Instagram is maringa_nyawera. Just DM me and I'll answer your questions. That was all for today. Bye.